Alright, it's Henry again, and it's time to start a new project. Well, actually, I've already started on this project, but, anyway, this is the, B Club 1/100 scale Resin Gundam Sandrock and Gundam Heavyarms TV versions. And what you're looking at here are the two most prized kits in my collection. And the reason there's actually three reasons they're the most prized kits in my collection. The first reason being is that Heavyarms and Sandrock never got 1/100 scale high grades back in the 90s when Gundam Wing was airing. That's just the way Bandai did things back then. The same thing happened in G Gundam. Gundam Rose and Bolt Gundam never got 1/100 scale high grades either, except for in B Club Resin kits, just like Heavyarms and Sandrock here. The second reason is that these kits are very, very rare. I got these off of eBay back in 2008. I knew the kits existed when I bought them, but it was the first time I'd ever actually seen them for sale anywhere. And I haven't seen them for sale anywhere since, not even recasts. Actually, no, that's a lie. I did see one recast of Sandrock not too long ago on eBay, but since I already have it, I had no reason to buy it. But by and large, very, very hard kits to come across. And the third reason they're my two most prized kits is because I'm a shameless Gundam Wing junkie. So, like I said, I got these in 2008, and when I got them, I painted them and added articulation, because these are originally meant to be fixed pose kits, meaning they don't move at all, they just stand there. And yeah, they had posability, but the range of movement really wasn't very good, and some of the joints, especially the knee and elbow joints, just didn't look very good at all. And, you know, I did a spray can paint job with a lot of hand brushing, put way too many decals on both of them. And I got to thinking, since I think it's safe to say that my painting skills are a little bit better now than they were in 2008, I think these kits deserve a lot better treatment than what I gave them 3 years ago. So, my current project is going to be repainting both of them. Now, what this project is going to entail is stripping the paint off of both of them, which I actually just finished. And I started on these Monday, and today's Sunday, so I've spent just under a week stripping all of the paint off of the parts, or at least, you know, 99.9% of the paint. What little paint is on there is kind of inconsequential, and I can just paint over it. But they're both pretty much stripped clean. And so that's the first step. And I really, really thought about redoing all of the articulation and, you know, improving it, but the way I'm looking at modeling now is I really don't care that much about articulation, because all my kits just are in a standing pose on my shelf anyway. And I honestly right now can't think of a good way to give these kits good looking elbow and knee joints and still have good articulation. So I'm going to choose good looking joints over joints that move. So I'm not removing all of the articulation. I'm going to leave them some rudimentary articulation, like at the shoulders and the ankles and the hips and the waist and the neck and the wrist as well. But I'm removing probably about half of the art, maybe not even half of the articulation. But they're not going to be as posable as they were. But hopefully by the end of the project they should look much better. Anyway, let's see, I've ordered the decals I'm going to use for them, but they haven't arrived yet. I'm going to be using the Bandai Waterslide decal sets for Master Grade Gundam Death Scythe EW on both of these guys. Obviously I won't be using the big XXXG01D, which would be specific to Death Scythe, but that's besides the point. Now, I realize that a lot of you might be like, oh, meh, he's taking out the articulation, that sucks. Well, sorry, you're just going to have to get over it. But to sort of make up for that, I am going to be doing something different with these guys that I didn't do back in 2008. Something that I couldn't do back in 2008, and actually I'm hoping I can pull off now. Now, when B Club made these resin kits back in 1996, they actually made two versions of each one. They made the normal type of Heavyarms and Sandrock, and they made their space type versions as well. Now, I have the space type version of Heavyarms, obviously indicated by the double Gatling gun, but I have the normal type of Sandrock. Now, what I'm going to attempt to do is, I've got a project, actually a really big project, in mind for sometime next year that's going to require some resin casting. And I don't have that much experience resin casting, so I need the practice. So what I'm going to do is, I see this project as a perfect opportunity to practice resin casting by copying and making recasts of some of these parts and then modifying them so I can make the normal type of Heavyarms and Sandrock and just switch out the parts to make their space types. Sandrock really won't be all that hard because I'll just have to make a beam submachine gun and then add thrusters and the shoulder armor, and that's pretty much it. Heavyarms, I'll have to recast pretty much all of the skirt armor, and because the space type has thrusters, which I'll have to remove, and then I'll have to recast the beam Gatling gun and make a single barrel version. And I believe that's it for Heavyarms, so hopefully I think that'll work out pretty well. If anything else, it'll be good practice for resin casting, and it'll be a nice little bonus for you know, sort of making up for these guys not having articulation. Plus, like I said, it'll be perfect practice since the parts I'd be resin casting wouldn't really be essential to these two kits. They would just be like, you know, extra bonus add-on stuff. Just going the extra mile. So that about does it for the first work in progress, which, other than just showing you the parts that I stripped the paint off of, wasn't really much progress to show. But at least I've, you know, explained my project and thrown it all out there. So that about does it for this video, and most of the hard work of stripping all the paint off of these guys is done, so I actually expect this, well, I expect putting in the joints is going to be going relatively quickly. The resin casting, I honestly don't know how long that's going to take. One thing I forgot to mention, though, I am going to be putting new joints onto the missile hatches for Heavyarms, because I do want those to be able to open and close. So those are some joints I am going to keep. So that about does it for this video, and with that, I'll see you guys next time.